2:30 in the morning, and my wife Leah's car pulls into our driveway with headlights that cut through the darkness like accusations. I'm standing at the kitchen window, coffee mug in hand, watching her fumble with keys she should know by heart after 15 years of marriage. She told me she'd be back Sunday evening from her girls' weekend at that fancy lakeside spa. It's now Tuesday morning, and she's wearing the wrong damn shoes. Eli, what are you doing up? Her voice carries that particular pitch women use when they're caught doing something they shouldn't. I know it well. I was a high school English teacher for 12 years before I quit to write the great American novel that's still sitting unfinished in my desk drawer. Couldn't sleep, I say, setting down my mug with deliberate care. How was the spa? You look relaxed. She does look relaxed, actually. Her hair's messed up in that post-sex way that I haven't seen directed at me in about 6 months. Her makeup is smeared, and there's a hickey on her neck that she's trying to hide with her scarf. It was wonderful, really rejuvenating. She won't meet my eyes. I should get to bed. Big presentation tomorrow. Funny thing, I say, leaning against the counter. You left your work bag here. And your iPad. Seems like odd things to forget for a work presentation. Her face goes white. I have backup files on my phone. Sure you do. I watch her squirm. By the way, your phone's been buzzing all night. Someone named Chad seems really eager to talk to you. The color drains completely from her face now. Chad Avery, the new creative director at her advertising agency. 32 years old, drives a Tesla, and apparently has a thing for married women who lie about spa weekends. We're working on a campaign together. At 2 in the morning? Different time zones, she says weakly. Leah, we live in Massachusetts. What time zone exactly were you thinking of? She mumbles something about California clients and practically runs up the stairs. I hear the bedroom door close, then the shower start running. Washing off the evidence, no doubt. I pick up her iPad from the counter where she left it 3 days ago. No password. She never was good with technology security. The Messages app opens right up, and there it is. Months of explicit photos, detailed plans for hotel meetups, and enough evidence to prove that my wife's overtime and business trips have been anything but professional. The boutique hotel receipts show a pattern. Every Thursday for the past 2 months, room 237 charged to her credit card. The same credit card that's linked to our joint account. She's been funding her affair with our money. I scroll through more messages. Chad sending her photos of expensive jewelry, talking about leaving his wife, making promises about their future together. Leah's responses are full of hearts and promises and detailed descriptions of what she wants to do to him. There's one message that stops me cold. Eli will never figure it out. He's too busy feeling sorry for himself about his failed book to notice anything. He's pathetic. That's the moment something inside me breaks. Not my heart. That's been cracking for months. Something deeper. Something that's been holding me back from being the kind of man who solves problems instead of just writing about them. I close the iPad and pour myself another cup of coffee. Then I sit down at my laptop and start making a list. Not a grocery list or a honey-do list, a revenge list. Because Leah's right about one thing. I have been pathetic, but she's wrong about everything else. I'm not too busy feeling sorry for myself to notice. I notice everything. I always have. That's what made me a good teacher, and it's what's going to make me very, very good at this. She always said I'd never be able to handle the truth. We'll see about that. The Anchor is the kind of dive bar that serves beer in bottles and doesn't ask questions about why you're drinking alone at 3 in the afternoon. The bartender is my old friend Frankie Morrison, who used to be a cop before he decided he preferred serving drinks to serving warrants. You look like hell, Eli, Frankie says, sliding a beer across the scarred wooden bar. What's eating you? Leah's having an affair. Frankie doesn't even blink. I know. You know? She's been meeting some guy in a Tesla out in the back parking lot. Tuesdays and Thursdays, regular as clockwork. I figured you knew and just didn't want to talk about it. I take a long pull of my beer. How long? 2 months, maybe 3. Guy's got Massachusetts plates, fancy clothes. They don't come inside, just sit in his car for an hour or so. Then she follows him out. To where? That boutique hotel out on Route 9, the one with the fancy restaurant attached. Frankie wipes down a glass with practiced efficiency. Look, Eli, I'm sorry. I should have said something. No, you shouldn't have. I needed to figure it out myself. I drain half the beer in one go. Now I need your help. Frankie's eyes light up with interest. What kind of help? The kind that doesn't involve anyone getting arrested. My favorite kind. What do you need? I pull out my phone and show him the Find My app. I've got Leah's location tracked. I need someone to help me document her activities. Photos, times, places, all legal, all public spaces. You thinking divorce? I'm thinking justice. Frankie grins. It's not a nice grin. When do we start? The next morning, I install a dashcam in Leah's car while she's in the shower. It's a tiny thing, barely visible behind the rearview mirror, completely legal in Massachusetts as long as it's in a vehicle I co-own. Then I drive to her office. Brennan and Associates occupies the 3rd floor of a glass office building that tries too hard to look important. The lobby has that new money smell of expensive carpet and cheap ambition. Chad Avery is exactly what I expected. Tall, artificially tanned, wearing a suit that costs more than my car payment. He's standing by the elevator, talking loudly into his phone about synergistic brand integration and other marketing nonsense. Excuse me, I say, walking up to him. Are you Chad? He looks at me with the kind of dismissive glance reserved for janitors and substitute teachers. Do I know you? I'm Eli Harper, Leah's husband. The phone call ends abruptly. His face goes through several interesting color changes. Oh, hi. Leah's mentioned you. I bet she has. I extend my hand for a shake. His palm is sweaty. She tells me you two have been working closely together on some big projects. Yes, well, she's very talented. Very dedicated. She certainly puts in long hours. All those late nights, weekend meetings. I hardly see her anymore. Chad's Adam's apple bobs like a fishing lure. The advertising business is very demanding. I'm sure it is. All those hotel conferences and client dinners. I smile pleasantly. You must have excellent expense accounts. Yes, the company takes care of its employees. The elevator arrives with a soft ding. Chad practically dives inside. Nice meeting you, Chad, I call out as the doors close. I'm sure we'll be seeing a lot more of each other. That evening, I'm having dinner with my neighbor, Mrs. Dalrymple. She's 78, lives alone, and knows everything that happens within a 3-block radius. She also makes excellent pot roast. That wife of yours has been having some interesting visitors, she says, cutting into her meat with surgical precision. Oh. Young man in a fancy car. Comes by when you're not home. Last week I saw them arguing in your driveway. She was crying. He was waving his hands around like he was conducting an orchestra. What day was that? Thursday. Around 2 in the afternoon, I was watering my petunias. Mrs. Dalrymple's petunias are legendary in the neighborhood, mostly because she waters them 6 times a day and uses the activity as cover for surveillance operations. She threw something at his car. Looked like a shoe. A shoe? High heel. Red one. Bounced right off his windshield. I file this information away. Did you happen to notice what kind of car he was driving? One of those electric ones. Tesla, I think. Silver. License plate started with CAD something. I thought that was appropriate, given the circumstances. Mrs. Dalrymple might be 78, but she's sharp as a tack. That night, Leah comes home at her usual time, acting like nothing happened. She kisses my cheek, asks about my day, and starts making dinner like she's been doing for 15 years. How's the new creative director working out? I ask casually. She freezes for just a moment, then continues chopping vegetables. Chad? He's fine, very professional. Seems like a nice guy. I met him today. The knife slips, and she cuts her finger. You what? I stopped by your office to surprise you for lunch, but you were in a meeting. Chad introduced himself. I hand her a paper towel for the blood. He mentioned how dedicated you are. All those extra hours you put in. Yes, well, the Peterson account has been very demanding. I'm sure it has. I open a beer and lean against the counter. He seems young for such an important position. He's very talented. I bet he is. She looks at me sharply, but I'm just smiling and drinking my beer like a supportive husband. My phone buzzes with a text from Frankie. Your wife just pulled into the hotel parking lot. She's not alone. I look at Leah, who's bandaging her finger and avoiding my eyes. I think I'll go for a drive, I say. Clear my head a little. Where are you going? Just around, maybe stop by the Anchor for a drink. Don't stay out too late. Wouldn't dream of it. I grab my keys and head for the door. Time to see exactly what my dedicated wife is up to. The Lakeside Inn tries to be classy with its fake colonial architecture and overpriced restaurant, but it's really just a place where married people go to pretend they're single. I park across the street and wait. Frankie's already here, sitting in his pickup truck with a telephoto camera that looks like it could spot satellites. They went in 20 minutes ago, he says through my car window. Room 237, second floor, corner unit. Same room as always? Yep. Creatures of habit, these two. I study the building layout. There's a fire escape on the side, and the corner room has windows facing both the parking lot and the side street. Perfect for what I have in mind. I need you to do me a favor, Frankie. Name it. In exactly 1 hour, I need you to pull the fire alarm. Frankie grins. Just like old times. What's the plan? Public embarrassment? The kind that sticks. I like it already. I drive home and wait. At exactly 8:47 p.m., my phone buzzes with a news alert about a fire alarm at the Lakeside Inn. 17 minutes later, Leah walks through our front door looking like she's been through a tornado. Her hair is disheveled, her makeup is smeared, and she's wearing Chad's jacket over her dress. How was book club? I ask from the couch. What? Book club. That's where you said you were going tonight. Oh, yes, it was educational. What book are you reading? She stares at me blankly. It's a romance novel. Which one? You wouldn't know it. Try me. I used to teach literature, remember? She mumbles something unintelligible and heads for the stairs. I'm going to take a shower. Leah? She stops, 1 foot on the bottom step. Whose jacket is that? She looks down like she's never seen the jacket before. It's mine. Funny. It looks like a men's jacket, and it smells like cologne. I borrowed it. From Sarah, her husband's jacket. I was cold. Sarah's husband is about 5 feet 6 inches and weighs maybe 140 pounds. That jacket would fit someone more like 6'2", maybe 180 inches. She clutches the jacket tighter. I need to shower. Sure you do. After she goes upstairs, I check my phone. Frankie has sent me 12 photos from tonight's fire alarm incident. The best one shows Leah and Chad stumbling out of room 237 in various states of undress, along with about 30 other hotel guests. Chad's shirtless, Leah's in her underwear and his jacket, and they both look like deer caught in headlights. But the real prize is the video Frankie took of them trying to sneak back to Chad's Tesla, while a wedding party from the hotel restaurant points and whispers. One of the bridesmaids is taking pictures with her phone. I text Frankie. Perfect. Phase 2 starts tomorrow. The next morning, Leah's credit cards start getting declined. Not because I've done anything illegal, I've simply removed myself as an authorized user on her personal cards and closed our joint credit account. Completely legal, since my name was on everything. Her car gets repossessed around noon. Again, perfectly legal, I was the co-signer on the lease, and I've terminated the agreement with proper notice. By 2 p.m., my phone is ringing. What the hell did you do? Leah's voice is shaking with rage. I'm not sure what you mean. My cards aren't working and they towed my car. That's strange. Did you call the credit card companies? They said you removed your authorization. Did I? Huh. I don't remember doing that. Eli, this isn't funny. I have a presentation this afternoon and I'm stranded at the office. Maybe Chad can give you a ride. I hear he's very accommodating. Silence on the other end of the line. I don't know what you think you know. I know you've been fucking Chad Avery for 3 months. I know you've been using our money to pay for hotel rooms. I know you think I'm pathetic and too stupid to figure it out. More silence. Leah? You still there? We need to talk. No, we really don't. But you might want to call a cab. I hear the spa takes cash. Good luck with that. I hang up and pour myself a celebratory beer. It's only 2:15 p.m., but I figure I've earned it. My phone immediately starts buzzing with texts. Please call me. We can work this out. I made a mistake. Don't do this. I love you. I delete them all without reading past the first few words. Then I block her number. But I don't block Chad's number. I want to see what he has to say. I don't have to wait long. This is Chad Avery. I think we need to talk. I let it ring 4 times before answering. Chad! How nice to hear from you. How's the Tesla running? Look, I know you're upset. Upset? Why would I be upset? My wife's been having an affair, using our money to fund it, and calling me pathetic behind my back. What's to be upset about? It's not what you think. Really? What do I think, Chad? Look, these things happen. Marriages get complicated. People grow apart. You're right. They do. And when that happens, honest people get divorced before they start screwing other people. But I guess honesty isn't really your strong suit. There's no need to be hostile. Hostile? Chad, I haven't even started being hostile yet. This is me being friendly. What do you want? I want you to stay away from my wife. And if I don't, then you'll find out exactly how creative a failed novelist can be when he puts his mind to it. I hang up before he can respond. That evening, I'm at the Anchor when Sienna Walsh walks in. She's Leah's best friend at work, one of those women who thinks being loud makes her interesting. She spots me immediately and marches over like she's leading a cavalry charge. You bastard, she says, sliding into the booth across from me. How could you do this to her? Do what, exactly? You know what. Cutting off her cards, taking her car. She's stranded. She's a grown woman with a job. I'm sure she can figure out transportation. She's your wife. Yes, she is. And wives generally don't fuck their coworkers in hotel rooms while calling their husbands pathetic. Sienna's mouth opens and closes like a fish. She told you? She didn't need to. I figured it out all by myself. Turns out I'm not as stupid as she thought. Look, she made a mistake. A mistake is forgetting to pick up milk at the store. This is a choice. A series of choices, actually, made over several months. Sienna leans forward, trying to look sincere. She loves you, Eli. She's just confused. No, she's not confused. She's selfish. There's a difference. What do you want from her? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. Then why are you doing this? I take a sip of my beer and look at Sienna carefully. She's nervous, fidgeting with her purse strap, avoiding my eyes. There's something she's not telling me. Sienna, how long have you known about Chad? I don't know what you're talking about. Sure you do. You work in the same office. You're Leah's best friend. You knew she was having an affair. I suspected maybe, but you knew, and you didn't tell me. She straightens up, trying to look defiant. It wasn't my place. No, it wasn't. But it says something about your character that you watched me play the fool for months without saying a word. I was protecting my friend. You were protecting yourself. Because if their affair came out, it would reflect badly on the whole office. Bad for morale, bad for business, bad for your career. Sienna's face flushes red. That's not true. Isn't it? Tell me, Sienna. What did HR say when they found out about Chad and Leah? Her face goes white. How did you? I didn't. But I do now. She realizes she's been played and stands up abruptly. You're a real piece of work, Eli. So I've been told. Give Leah my regards. She storms out, leaving me alone with my beer and a growing sense of satisfaction. Phase 2 is going even better than I hoped. The next morning brings a phone call from a lawyer. Mr. Harper? This is Robert Bixby, attorney at law. I'm representing your wife in a domestic matter. Good morning, Mr. Bixby. What can I do for you? My client is requesting that you restore her access to your joint financial accounts immediately. I'm afraid that's not possible, counselor. There are no joint accounts to restore access to. Excuse me? I closed our joint accounts yesterday, perfectly legal, since my name was on all of them. Silence on the other end. Mr. Harper, my client also wishes to file a restraining order, claiming emotional distress and financial abuse. Interesting. On what grounds? You've left her without access to transportation or financial resources. Mr. Bixby, I've left her exactly what she brought to the marriage. Nothing. She has a job, she has her own income, and she has family she can stay with. What she doesn't have is access to my money to fund her extramarital activities. That's a very serious accusation. Yes, it is. Would you like me to send you the evidence? Another pause. What evidence? Photos, videos, hotel receipts, text messages, GPS tracking data, all obtained legally, all admissible in court. I'll need to discuss this with my client. You do that. And Mr. Bixby, you might want to ask your client about her expense account at work. I have a feeling that's going to become relevant very soon. I hang up and immediately call Frankie. How do you feel about a little road trip? Where to? Chad's apartment. I found his address in Leah's phone contacts. What's the plan? Psychological warfare. Chad lives in a converted warehouse loft in the trendy part of town, the kind of place that costs $3,000 a month and comes with exposed brick walls and a Murphy bed. We park across the street and watch. At 7:30 a.m., Chad emerges wearing workout clothes and carrying a gym bag. He looks tired and stressed. Good. Now? Frankie asks. Now. We cross the street and approach Chad's Tesla. Frankie produces a can of spray paint from his jacket. Wait, I say. Let me try something first. I pull out my phone and call Chad's number. What do you want? His voice is sharp, angry. Just wanted to see how you're holding up. I heard Leah's having some financial difficulties. That's between you and her. Actually, it's between me and my lawyer now. See, adultery affects asset division in Massachusetts. Did you know that? Chad stops walking. I can see him through his apartment building's glass door, phone pressed to his ear. What are you talking about? I'm talking about the fact that when I divorce Leah, I'm going to take her for everything she's worth. And then I'm going to sue you for alienation of affection. That's not a real thing. It is in 7 states. Massachusetts isn't one of them, unfortunately, but your wife's state is... My wife? Oh, did I not mention? I know about Jennifer. Nice woman. We had a lovely conversation yesterday. The color drains from Chad's face. You called my wife? I didn't have to. She called me. Apparently someone sent her some very interesting photos from the Lakeside Inn fire alarm incident. Small world, isn't it? Chad starts walking faster, practically running toward his car. She's filing for divorce, by the way, and she's asking for everything: house, cars, savings, retirement accounts. Adultery's expensive, Chad. He reaches his Tesla and stops dead. Someone has placed a large dead fish on his windshield. It's tied in place with a red ribbon. What the hell? Careful, Chad. Slippery when wet. Or just slippery, period. He spins around looking for me, but Frankie and I are already walking away. You're insane, he shouts. No, I'm thorough. Have a great day, Chad. Give my regards to your wife. That afternoon, I attend the monthly PTA meeting at Lincoln Elementary, where Leah and I used to volunteer before I quit teaching. It's held in the school auditorium, and about 40 parents show up to discuss fundraising and curriculum changes. Leah arrives 10 minutes late, looking harried. She's borrowed a car from someone, a beat-up Honda Civic that's seen better days. She takes a seat in the back, probably hoping to avoid attention. I'm sitting in the third row, right in her line of sight. Principal Waters, my former boss, is discussing the upcoming science fair when I raise my hand. Yes, Eli? I just wanted to thank everyone for their continued support of the school's programs. Education is so important, especially when it comes to teaching our children about values like honesty, integrity, and keeping promises. A few people nod politely. It's particularly important that children learn these values at home from parents who model good behavior. Parents who demonstrate that actions have consequences and that betraying someone's trust isn't something you can just apologize for and move on from. I can feel Leah's eyes burning into the back of my head. Of course, we all make mistakes. The key is learning from them and making sure we don't repeat them. Some mistakes, though, they change everything. They show people who you really are underneath all the pretending. Principal Waters looks confused. Eli, did you have a specific question about the science fair? Just that I hope all the projects are honest representations of the students' work. No cheating, no plagiarism, no pretending to be something you're not. We wouldn't want to teach the children that deception is acceptable, would we? Of course not. Good. Because integrity matters. In science, in education, and especially in marriage. The room is dead silent. Everyone can feel the tension, even if they don't understand what's happening. After the meeting, several people approach me with concerned questions, but I deflect them all with polite small talk. Leah tries to corner me in the parking lot, but I'm already walking to my car. Eli, wait! I stop and turn around. She looks terrible. Dark circles under her eyes, wrinkled clothes, hair that needs washing. We need to talk. No, we don't. Yes, we do. This has gone far enough. Has it? Because from where I'm standing, it's just getting started. What do you want from me? I want you to understand what it feels like to have your life turned upside down by someone you trusted. I made a mistake. Stop calling it a mistake. Mistakes are accidental. This was deliberate. You chose to have an affair. You chose to lie to me. You chose to spend our money on hotel rooms. You chose to call me pathetic behind my back. Her face crumples. I'm sorry. No, you're not. You're sorry you got caught. There's a difference. I love you. No, you don't. You love the security I provided. You love having someone to pay the bills while you play around with your boy toy. But you don't love me. That's not true. Prove it. How? Tell Chad it's over. Publicly, in front of your entire office. She stares at me. I can't do that. Why not? Because it would ruin my career. And there it is. Your career is more important than your marriage. That's not what I meant. It's exactly what you meant. Go home, Leah. Or go to Chad's. I don't care anymore. I get in my car and drive away, leaving her standing alone in the parking lot under the fluorescent lights. My phone buzzes with a text from an unknown number. This is Maddie Chen. I used to date Chad Avery. We need to talk. Things are about to get very interesting. I meet Maddie Chen at a coffee shop downtown. She's Asian American, early 30s, with the kind of sharp intelligence that immediately makes you pay attention. She's also furious. Chad Avery is a serial cheater, she says without preamble. And your wife isn't his first married victim. Tell me more. She slides a manila folder across the table. 3 women in the last 2 years. All married, all worked with him, all got their lives destroyed when he moved on to the next target. I open the folder. Photos, emails, financial records, even a recording of a phone conversation. How did you get all this? I'm a private investigator. Chad hired me to dig up dirt on his ex-wife during their divorce. Stupid bastard didn't realize I was documenting everything he did too. Why are you showing me this? Because he's doing the same thing to your wife that he did to me and the others. And because I want to see him burn. The evidence is damning. Chad has a pattern. Identify a married woman with access to money, seduce her, use her resources to fund his lifestyle, then disappear when things get complicated. He's not looking for love. He's running a con. There's more, Maddie says. Your wife has been embezzling from her company. What? Not technically embezzling. She's been using her expense account to buy Chad gifts, pay for dinners, even helped him make his car payments. It's all here in the credit card records. She shows me printouts of Leah's corporate credit card statements. Thousands of dollars in charges at jewelry stores, expensive restaurants, even a payment to Tesla Financial Services. How did you get these? I have friends at the credit card company. And before you ask, yes, it's legal. These are corporate records, not personal ones. Does her company know? Not yet. But they will soon. I've already contacted their HR department. My phone rings. It's Leah. Don't answer it, Maddie says. Let her sweat. But I answer anyway. What do you want, Leah? Eli, something terrible is happening. HR called me into a meeting. They're asking about my expense account. That sounds serious. They think I've been misusing company funds. Have you? Silence. Leah? It's not what it looks like. What does it look like? I may have used my corporate card for some personal expenses, but I was going to pay it back. Personal expenses like what? Just things. Dinners. Gifts. Gifts for whom? More silence. Gifts for Chad. How did you... Lucky guess. How much, Leah? It's not that much. How much? Maybe $8,000. But I can explain $8,000 of company money spent on your boyfriend. Jesus Christ, Leah. It's not like that. What's it like then? I was going to pay it back once Chad and I figured things out. Figured what out? Our future. He's been talking about starting his own agency, and we were going to... I start laughing. I can't help it. What's so funny? Chad's not starting his own agency, Leah. Chad's a con man. You're just his latest mark. That's not true. Ask him about Jennifer Morrison, or Sarah Walsh, or Rebecca Thompson. All married women, all worked with him, all got scammed out of money and lost their jobs. You're lying. Am I? When's the last time Chad paid for anything? When's the last time he took you somewhere that wasn't paid for with your money? Silence again. He loves me, she says weakly. No, he doesn't. He's using you. And when HR fires you tomorrow, he'll disappear and move on to the next victim. They're not going to fire me. Leah, you stole $8,000 from your company to buy gifts for your boyfriend. Of course they're going to fire you. She hangs up. Maddie has been listening to my side of the conversation with obvious satisfaction. She still doesn't get it, she says. She will soon enough. What's your next move? I'm going to have a conversation with Chad. Want to come along? Wouldn't miss it. We drive to Chad's loft in separate cars. His Tesla is parked outside, and the dead fish has been removed from the windshield, though there's still a lingering smell. Chad answers his door wearing a bathrobe and holding a glass of wine. His face goes white when he sees me, then even whiter when he sees Maddie. Hello, Chad, Maddie says pleasantly. Miss me? What do you want? Just wanted to catch up with an old friend, I say, pushing past him into the apartment. Nice place. Very expensive. I'm guessing Leah's been helping with the rent? Get out. In a minute. First, I want to show you something. I pull out my phone and show him a photo of Leah's corporate credit card statement. $8,000, Chad. That's how much she spent on you, her company's money. I don't know what you're talking about. Sure you do. The jewelry, the dinners, even your car payment, all paid for by Leah, all with stolen money. She said it was her money. No, you knew exactly where it was coming from, just like you knew with Jennifer and Sarah and Rebecca. Chad looks at Maddie, who's smiling like a shark. You told him? I told him everything, Chad. About your little pattern, your method, your other victims. It's not like that. It's exactly like that, I say. You're a con man who targets married women. You seduce them, use their money, then disappear when things get complicated. That's not true. Really? Then where were you planning to be next month when Leah gets fired and can't afford to support you anymore? Chad doesn't answer. Let me guess. You've already got your next target picked out. Someone new at the office, maybe? Someone with access to money and a husband who works late? You're crazy. No, I'm thorough. And I'm done with you. I walk over to his expensive gaming setup and accidentally bump into it. The whole thing crashes to the floor, destroying what looks like thousands of dollars worth of equipment. Oops, sorry about that. These old apartments have such uneven floors. Chad lunges at me, but Frankie appears in the doorway behind him. Problem here? Frankie asks mildly. Chad stops mid-lunge. No problem, I say. We were just leaving. As we head for the door, I turn back to Chad. Oh, and Chad? You might want to update your resume. I have a feeling you're going to need it soon. Outside, Maddie is practically glowing with satisfaction. That was beautiful, she says. It's not over yet. What's next? Now we wait for Leah to figure out that her Prince Charming is really a frog. I don't have to wait long. At 11:47 p.m., my phone rings. Eli? It's me. Leah's voice is small, broken. What do you want, Leah? You were right, about Chad, about everything. I usually am. He's gone. Gone where? I don't know. His apartment is empty. His phone's disconnected. He just disappeared. Shocking. Eli, I need help. What kind of help? They fired me. HR called it gross misconduct. They're talking about pressing charges. For the $8,000? They say it's theft. That I could go to jail. You could. What am I going to do? I honestly don't know, Leah. That's your problem now. Please, I know I messed up, but I'm still your wife. No, you're not. The divorce papers will be filed tomorrow morning. Eli, please. Goodbye, Leah. I hang up and turn off my phone. It's time for the final act. The next evening, I'm at home grading papers. I've taken a part-time teaching position at the community college when I hear a car in the driveway. Then footsteps on the porch. Then the sound of someone trying to use a key that no longer works. I changed the locks this morning. The doorbell rings, then rings again. Then someone starts pounding on the door. Eli! I know you're in there. Open the door. It's Leah, and she sounds desperate. I open the door but leave the chain latch engaged. What do you want? She looks terrible. Her hair is unwashed, her clothes are wrinkled, and she's been crying. She's also drunk. I want to come home. This isn't your home anymore. Yes, it is. We're still married. Not for long. Eli, please, I have nowhere else to go. What about Chad? He's gone. He won't answer my calls. What about your parents? They won't talk to me. Mom said I made my bed and now I have to lie in it. Smart woman. What about Sienna? She's avoiding me. Says I'm toxic for her career. Imagine that. Leah starts crying again. Everyone's abandoned me. Welcome to the club. That's different. You still had me. No, I didn't. I had someone who looked like you and shared your name, but I didn't have you. The real you was off fucking Chad Avery in hotel rooms. She flinches like I've slapped her. I made a mistake. Stop saying that. What do you want me to say? I want you to say, you're a cheating, lying, stealing bitch who destroyed our marriage because you were bored and selfish and thought you could get away with it. Fine. I'm a cheating, lying, stealing bitch. Are you happy now? Getting there. She wipes her nose with her sleeve. Can I at least come in? It's cold out here. No. Why not? Because this is my house now. You gave up the right to be here when you decided Chad was more important than our marriage. I never said he was more important. You didn't have to say it. You showed it. Every time you lied to me, every time you met him at that hotel, every time you spent our money on his gifts. I said I was sorry. Sorry doesn't fix anything, Leah. Sorry doesn't give me back the 15 years I wasted on you. Sorry doesn't make me trust you again. She leans against the doorframe, looking defeated. What do you want from me? I want you to understand what you've lost. I want you to realize that actions have consequences. I want you to know what it feels like to have your life destroyed by someone you trusted. I understand. No, you don't. But you will. I close the door and turn off the porch light. She pounds on the door for another 10 minutes. Then I hear her car start up and drive away, but she's not done yet. At 2 a.m., I wake up to the sound of breaking glass. Someone's thrown a rock through my living room window. I call the police, and they arrive 20 minutes later. Officer Martinez is a young guy who takes everything very seriously. Any idea who might have done this? My soon-to-be ex-wife. Where is she now? I don't know. Probably at a hotel somewhere. We'll need to file a report. Of course. As Officer Martinez is writing up the incident, Mrs. Dalrymple appears in her bathrobe. I saw the whole thing, she announces. That Harper woman threw a brick right through his window, then stood there screaming like a banshee. Did you get it on video? Officer Martinez asks. Of course I did. I've got security cameras all over my property. She produces her phone and shows us a clear video of Leah throwing a brick through my window, then standing in my yard screaming obscenities. We'll need a copy of that, Officer Martinez says. Already emailed it to you, Mrs. Dalrymple replies, and to the neighborhood watch group, and to Facebook. I almost feel sorry for Leah. Almost. The next morning, I'm having coffee when my phone rings. It's Principal Waters. Eli, I heard about what happened last night. Are you okay? I'm fine, thanks. Listen, I've got a proposition for you. We need a full-time English teacher, and the position comes with tenure track. Are you interested? Very interested. Good. Can you start Monday? Absolutely. One more thing. The school board meeting is tonight, and they're discussing the new anti-bullying policy. I think it would be good if you were there. You know, as a teacher who understands the importance of standing up to bullies. I'll be there. The school board meeting is held in the same auditorium where the PTA meeting took place. About 50 people show up, including most of the parents who were there before. I'm sitting in the front row when Leah walks in. She looks even worse than she did last night, if that's possible. She takes a seat in the back, trying to be invisible. Principal Waters introduces me as the new English teacher, and there's polite applause. Then he asks me to say a few words about the anti-bullying policy. I stand up and face the audience. Bullying comes in many forms, I begin. Sometimes it's physical, sometimes it's emotional, and sometimes it's the kind of systematic betrayal that destroys someone's ability to trust. I can feel Leah's eyes on me. The most dangerous bullies are the ones who pretend to care about you while they're destroying you behind your back. They lie to your face, steal your resources, and then act like victims when they face consequences for their actions. The room is dead silent. But here's the thing about bullies. They're cowards. When you stand up to them, when you refuse to be their victim anymore, they crumble. They run away and look for easier targets. I turn slightly so I can see Leah in my peripheral vision. The best way to deal with a bully is to expose them. Show everyone who they really are underneath the mask they wear. Once people see the truth, the bully loses all their power. I sit down to enthusiastic applause. After the meeting, several people approach me to shake hands and welcome me back to the school. Leah tries to approach me too, but I'm surrounded by well-wishers and she can't get close. Finally, as the crowd thins out, she manages to corner me in the parking lot. "That was cruel," she says. "Was it?" I didn't mention any names. "Everyone knew you were talking about me." "Did they? That's interesting. What does that say about you?" She doesn't have an answer. "Eli, I'm begging you. I've lost everything. My job, my friends, my family. I'm staying in a motel room and eating fast food. I don't have anything left." "Good." "Good? You wanted to know what it felt like to have everything. Now you know what it feels like to have nothing. Consider it a learning experience." "I can't live like this." "Then don't." "What's that supposed to mean?" "It means you have choices, Leah. You can keep playing the victim, or you can take responsibility for what you've done and try to rebuild your life. But you can't do it with me, and you can't do it with my help. So that's it? 15 years of marriage and you're just going to throw it all away?" "I'm not throwing anything away. You already did that." I get in my car and drive home, leaving her standing alone in the parking lot under the fluorescent lights. Just like the last time. Except this time, there's no one left to call for help. 2 weeks later, I'm in my lawyer's office signing the final divorce papers when he hands me an envelope. "This came for you this morning." It's a letter from Leah, postmarked from somewhere in Florida. "Dear Eli," it begins. "I know you'll probably throw this away without reading it, but I had to try one more time. You were right about everything. Chad was using me. I was selfish and stupid, and I destroyed the best thing in my life because I thought I deserved more than what I had. I don't expect you to forgive me, but I want you to know that I finally understand what I lost. I hope you find someone who appreciates what a good man you are. I'm sorry I never did. Leah." I read it twice, then folded up and put it in my pocket. My lawyer looks at me expectantly. "Everything okay?" "Everything's perfect." I sign the papers and walk out into the sunshine. That evening, I'm at the Anchor having a celebratory drink with Frankie when Maddie Chen walks in. "Buy a girl a drink?" she asks. "Absolutely." She slides into the booth next to me. "I heard Chad got arrested in Miami. Something about running the same con on a judge's wife. Poetic justice. What about Leah? What about her? Last I heard, she was working at a diner in Tampa. Good for her." Maddie studies my face. "You're really done with her, aren't you? Completely. No regrets? None. What's next for you?" "I'm going back to teaching. Maybe I'll finish that novel. Maybe I'll learn to be happy again. Maybe you'll find someone new." I look at her and smile. Maybe I already have. Frankie raises his glass. "To new beginnings." "To getting even," I counter. "To moving on," Maddie adds. We clink glasses and drink. Outside, it starts to rain, but inside the Anchor, everything is warm and bright and full of possibility. I pull Leah's letter out of my pocket and drop it in the ashtray. Then I light a match and watch it burn. The trip's canceled, so's her credit, and so is she.